This is Inside Indiana Business Radio on demand for Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. I'm Gary Dick. After years of planning, city and tourism officials will today break ground on a nearly $52 million convention center expansion in Bloomington. The new building, which will connect to the current Monroe County Convention Center via Skybridge, will add about 60,000 square feet of meeting space. Mike McAfee is executive director for Visit Bloomington.
So it's going to allow us to go from serving groups of 200 to 250 with the experience they want to have to groups of 500 or 600.
Look for business, political, and sports officials in Indianapolis to make a big announcement this morning. IBJ reporter Mickey Shuey says Indy has won its bid for the 2028 U.S. Olympic swim trials, which will determine teams for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. When Indy hosted the trials last year at Lucas Oil Stadium, the economic impact was pegged at more than $100 million. Indiana Governor Mike Braun has announced 4 appointments to Indiana University's Board of Trustees, including conservative attorney Jim Bopp and sportscaster Sage Steele. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio. Northwest Indiana is on the move, and the next big conversation is happening in Valparaiso. Join business and community leaders at Innovate Northwest Indiana, a powerful afternoon of ideas, innovation, and insight. We're talking talent, technology, and transformation, and what's next for the region. Join us at Valparaiso University July 9, part of the Innovate Indiana series presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. RSVP now at ibj.com/innovate. A Purdue-affiliated company that is developing what it describes as an improved process to store drugs, such as vaccines and antibiotics, for long periods of time, has received a grant of more than $300,000 from the National Science Foundation. LioWave plans to use the Phase 1 Small Business Innovation Research Grant toward efforts to scale up its microwave technology for commercial use. AES Indiana is seeking bids to build 1 or more combined cycle gas turbine units, planned to be operational between 2030 and 2032. That according to a request for proposal filed by the utility. AES Indiana says the new units are part of its planning to meet the potential needs of new large-scale customers to its grid. Well, many Indiana schools are getting ahead of the curve on FAFSA applications.
2 years ago, Indiana adopted a requirement for students to fill out the free application for federal student aid, with some exceptions. The state set a goal for 60% of high school seniors to file the FAFSA by April 15th, the deadline for preference for state aid. The Indiana Commission for Higher Education reported that 55% of Hoosier seniors filed it before the state's priority deadline, with 241 Indiana high schools exceeding the 60% statewide goal by that date. As of May 14th, the Commission's dashboard showed 57.4% of students had filed it, and 68.6% of 21st century scholars, students who can receive free tuition at in-state public colleges and universities under certain conditions, had filed as well. Last year, as of mid-May, nearly 43% of all seniors had completed it. As of May 23rd, Indiana ranked 11th for FAFSA completions nationwide. But higher education officials and advocates are tracking changes at the federal and state levels that could have an impact on financial aid, including President Donald Trump's efforts to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education, which oversees the FAFSA. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The Indiana Department of Natural Resources has cut the ribbon on the latest segment of the Monon South Trail in southern Indiana. The 3.3-mile segment is located in the Washington County town of Salem and extends the length of the trail open to the public to more than 12 miles. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.